Hello, welcome to the introduction for your Basic Math Skills Self-Tutor Library. The library is the first in a series of learning products that will provide you with a unique method and tools for accelerating mastery of academic skills. Future math products will include algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, and more. Future science products will include basic science, physics, chemistry, biology, anatomy, physiology, and astronomy. Future language topics will include reading, reading comprehension, writing or composition, effective listening, and effective speaking. Our goal is to provide you with the best self-tutor materials that can be found in the world today. Your library contains 52 topics and 100 skills that you will learn. These skills represent the basic foundation that you must know in order to learn higher level mathematics and courses in science and technology. These skills also represent what most employers want you to know for entry-level employment. Before we talk about what you will learn, let's go over some of the important definitions about learning, thinking, problem solving, and knowledge. The ability to learn, think, and problem solve is a unique human capability. It is the key to our physical, mental, and financial health. However, this ability, although it comes with us when we're born, must be developed and improved throughout our lives. This is where we find a very serious problem in today's society. In order to solve this problem, we must first define learning, thinking, and problem solving. Learning is the activity of memorizing knowledge as we perform tasks or work that solve problems. Thinking is the activity of using knowledge to decide what to do. Problem solving is the activity of using knowledge to find solutions to problems that we experience at school, at home, at work, or in our community. As you can see, these definitions have something in common. They all rely on knowledge. But what exactly is knowledge? Knowledge can be defined as information and instructions that we use to solve problems or perform work. Knowledge can exist in many forms, such as on paper, on a CD or DVD, on a computer, or it can exist in our minds as memorized knowledge. Knowledge is made up of a combination of facts and rules. Facts are called declarative knowledge. They represent the information that we process while using rules. Rules are called procedural knowledge, and they represent the instructions or process that tell us what to do with facts or information. There are two types of facts. Type 1 are facts that declare or describe work inputs. Inputs are the things used to perform work, such as ingredients to make a cake or materials to build a house. Type 2 are facts that declare or describe work outputs. Outputs are the things produced or the results of performing work, such as a cake or a house. There are two types of rules. Type 1 are called conditional rules. They guide us in deciding what to do with facts. For example, if the temperature is less than 40 degrees, then turn on the heat. Type 2 are called unconditional rules. They tell us exactly what to do without conditions, such as turn the lights out at 10 p.m. Conditional and unconditional rules make up the step-by-step instructions called a process or a procedure that describe how to use work inputs to perform the work and produce the work outputs. From these definitions, you can see why working is often described as an information processing activity. Now let's take this a step further. Work inputs and work outputs are named or described using nouns. For example, whole numbers, fractions, decimals. A process is named using verbs. For example, add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Or they can be named using gerunds, which are verbs ending in ing, such as adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Now let's put it all together. Since knowledge is instruction that we need to perform work, and knowledge describes input, process, and output, our method of learning is called the IPO learning method, or the input process output learning method. By using this method, you'll find that learning any skill, whether at school or at work, becomes fast, easy, and very effective. All you have to do is ask your teacher or your supervisor to provide you with the information and instructions that describe the inputs, the process, and the outputs for the task or job that you must learn. In fact, this is their responsibility, and it's your responsibility to learn as quickly and as effectively as possible. The IPO learning method will enable you to do just that. Now let's define skill. Skill is the capacity to perform work at a certain level. The more you use knowledge, the more skilled you become. Therefore, people go from beginner skill level to expert skill level over time and through practice. Developing skills is called learning. Let's define learning. Learning, then, is developing skills over time by using and memorizing knowledge, or facts and rules, or information and instruction. The more you use knowledge, the faster it is memorized. When the knowledge is completely memorized through use, we say that you have learned the skill. Teachers give tests to see if you can recall knowledge from memory and use it to solve problems. As you know, learning is the objective of going to school and is also the number one skill required at work. In fact, learning is a lifelong activity that is not optional. It sets the limits to what you can do and what you can earn during your life. Now let's talk more about the IPO learning method. First, let's take a look at the tool called the IPO diagram. This diagram is used to capture, describe, and document the knowledge you need to learn to develop skills. As you can see, the diagram is made up of 6 numbered boxes. The boxes are numbered in the order you should follow to easily learn the skill. Box 1 is labeled process. In this box will be the name of the skill you will learn. Box 2 is used to name and define keywords that help you understand the input, the process, and output for this skill. Box 3 is labeled inputs. In this box will be the description of what you will use to perform the work. Box 4 is labeled output. In this box will be the description of what is produced by the process. Box 5 are the step-by-step rules or procedure that describes how to perform the work. It will contain conditional and unconditional commands. It will tell you how to use the work inputs to produce the work outputs. Box 6 is an example to help you understand how to use the rules to perform the work and problem solve. Now let's take a look at some real IPO diagrams and go over how to study those in the manual and on the DVD in order to learn skills. Now here's an IPO diagram taken from your manual for rounding numbers. Here's how to study it for understanding. Starting with box 1, rounding numbers. This is the skill you ought to master. Box 2, keywords and definitions. There are 4 for this topic: rounding, place value, digit, and numeral. You must know these definitions in order to understand the rules and how to apply them to solve rounding problems. Box 3. The input to rounding is a number with a given place value to round to. Box 4. The output is a number that has been rounded. You'll know that because it will end in zeros by definition of the keyword rounding. Box 5. The rule or procedure for rounding. Study this rule and the example step by step for understanding. Box 6. The example with problem-solving solution. Study each step of the rule and the solution step to get an understanding of how the rule works. Remember, it's your goal to memorize the rules, the inputs and outputs, and how to use them to solve problems. You should make an effort to memorize everything on the IPO diagram because it will help you master the skill. After you have a good understanding of the skill, you should immediately practice the skill to test your ability to recall the facts and rules to solve problems. For more information or to order any of our basic math skills tutor products, visit our website at www.21stccd.com or call us 21st Century Community Developers at 614-626-8489. Thank you very much.